Cool. Hi, Tracey. Hi, my name's Catherine Talbot, and today I'm interviewing Tracey Robinson, the new head coach of Leeds Rhinos for the netball post. So welcome, Tracey. You've
Thank
been
you.
for just over a month now. How are you finding it in Leeds?
Oh, I actually love it in Leeds. I haven't been here a month quite yet. It'll be a month next week. So
Okay.
it's been good. Everybody's telling me about the lousy weather, but the weather's been great. So it's been really fun. It's been cold, but hardly any grey days. So it's been really good. So I've enjoyed it.
Yeah. So it's your first time in the UK?
It is actually, yeah. So I've been throughout Australia, New Zealand, and Asia, but it's the first time I've been over here. So it's actually a bit like home. So it's quite good. I've settled in pretty quickly.
It's good to hear. So would you be able to just give us a bit of an insight about how you were approached or how you applied for the Leeds Rhinos head coach role?
Okay, so I got a phone call out of the blue, and it was the franchise director, Dan Busfield, here, and he said that two people had recommended me for the position, and how did I feel about it? And I'm like, who are you? I had no idea. So, I shouldn't be rude like that, but, I said, tell me all your information. We had a really good phone call, and I hung up and I said, look, I'll give you an answer in 48 hours. And then I'm good friends with Mike Stevenson, who's a Yorkshire lad, and so his wife and I are really good friends. So I rang her up and she said, look, get on to him. And so I rang him up and he said, they're the best run club in England. So I thought, that's a really good recommendation. So I sort of investigated a bit further. Then I found out one of the people that recommended me was Norma Plummer. So I rang her up and I said, what are you doing? She goes, oh, no, it'd be really good. You'd be great for them. They'll be good for you. And so I thought, yeah, why not? So, and netball's really like that. Like, it's around the experiences and what you have outside of the game as well. So I think that's the best part of netball. So it's just those relationships that you have. So it's been great since I've been here.
So that's a pretty good recommendation, Norma Plummer.
Yeah, well, yeah, look, she's an icon of the game, but look, she's just down to earth, she's honest, she's open, she says it like it is, and I appreciate that. And she's been really good for me.
And did you speak to Dan Ryan at all about
No, I actually haven't talked to Dan Ryan at all. I've talked to Jade Clark, I've talked to a few people around the club. I've talked to Maggie Birkinshaw. She was really great. She was open and honest, and she just says how it was. And I thought that we could really build a good relationship with each other, because one of the things when you're working with coaches is you've got to be open and honest, and you've got to have that, coming back towards you. So I found her quite like that, just on the phone and a couple of Zoom calls. And when I've got here, she's just been that and more. So it's been really comfortable for me to coming into the role.
So you've been national coach for Malaysia, and assistant coach at Swifts, Firebirds and Fever. Yeah. So yes. How are you going to use those experiences as head coach for Rhinos?
Well, I think it's all about relationships. And the reason I went to Malaysia was, netball at the top level, they're pretty well covered in terms of, the support around the system. So going to Malaysia was a sort of it was a cultural thing for me, but also it was a stretch in terms of resources and, trying to build a program there. And I had really good support from the Malaysian Sports Ministry. They were really supportive of what I was trying to do, as well as Netball Malaysia. And, we put a program together and they were fairly successful there. So, coming here, I felt quite confident that I could come in and have a little look at the program, just make a few tweaks based on my experience and, see how the girls reacted. So far, so good. But we haven't played a game yet. So everything's always we play a game.
So there was quite a lot of chat about the Rhino squads being announced kind of before you were confirmed in post. So did you have any involvement in kind of forming the squad, or was all that done prior to you signing?
Yeah, so all the players were signed prior to my signing. So one of the things I did in the investigation coming to the position was have a look at the players, look at all the games from last year, have a look at the ones who were signed. And I thought, it's actually quite a young team. And I think that the thing that put me over the line was I could help in their development. And I think that, having been as an assistant to all those other roles, I felt quite sure in my ability to be able to develop players. And so I think for this team, they're a really young team and there's an opportunity for them to, get even better. So I thought that was a really good chance for me to make a little mark with them.
Yeah, because that was one of the things that you have a bit of a reputation for identifying and developing emerging talent. So are you going to have an opportunity to work with kind of other age groups and pathways in Yorkshire as well? So.
Yeah, well, they've got an academy here with 17s, 19s and 21s. And even though I've only been here 3 weeks, I've been there each week to actually have a look at these players. And, it's really important to make that link between the academy and up into the Rhinos, but also too in the wider community. So Yorkshire, like the wider public here, have been really good in terms of the, being open towards me, asking me to come and do things left, right and centre, which I can't always accept. But the thing is, I'd like to get out there and have a look because, netball really is a community sport. And I think, the more netballers you can have in England, you're going to have a better and a bigger pool to choose from. So it's actually quite big up here in Yorkshire and the surrounds. So it's a region, and I think that, really needs that development to be able to say to players there's a pathway here through to Rhinos. And that's the best part. You've got a Super League team right here. So it's a no-brainer to actually go out and, develop those players out in the areas to, make their steps through.
Great. So kind of back to the squads, there was a lot of chat as well when Amy Clinton and Siggy Berger both got signed because they're both usually goal shooters. So have you got an idea of how that's going to look? You've got Ria and Sienna and maybe Brie as well shooting.
Well, I think, the thing is you need flexibility in a squad. And, as you know, with teams, there's injuries, there's illness, there's all sorts of things. So we've got to have that flexibility within the squad. So the other thing about Amy too, when I actually had a look at Amy, in her previous team, she did a lot of running outside the circle. So she's used to, getting after the ball and doing all that stuff. So what we're trying to do is to mix and match and make sure that, we're matching up well with our opponents. And if we need to change up, I've got to change up there with all those players that you described.
So how is it working with England's most capped player in Jade Clark? And what does she bring to the squad? We're all big fangirls of Jade so in England.
Oh, look, she's a lovely person. She really is. She's humble. She's genuine. She's really caring about the players and about me. Like, she's like, oh, you missing home and all that sort of stuff. So, look, she's a really good role model. She doesn't say that much, but when she does, the girls all listen to her. And she's got some really good ideas about what needs to happen, for someone of her longevity and to last as long as she has with little injury. And she's the most capped player in England, for goodness sake. So, the girls are really lucky, and I'm really lucky to have her in the program. So it's a bonus for us.
So first up on Sunday, a little matter of defending champions, Loughborough Lightning. A nice little intro into Super League for you. So how are you approaching the game, and do you have specific goals that you want to achieve?
Well, I think first of all, we've got to respect they're the champions and they'll come out. And, one of the things I've impressed on the players is last year no one knew who Leeds Rhinos were. So, it was a little bit of we were a bit of a surprise package. But this year everyone knows, and they're going to be expecting, the performance they had on last year, to put against these teams. So for me, it's about I'm happy to see them out in court because I really want to see them. And what team to go better than last year's champion. And the thing about it is too, you actually know, it gives you a good guide to where you're at. So, if we get absolutely smacked by them, we go, okay, we're a bit off the mark. We've got a lot of hard work to do. If we hang close to them, we're close to the mark and we've still got more work to do. So I actually feel quite comfortable that we're actually playing them first, because often with teams, you might have a couple of wins, you might get that confidence up, and then you come against, like the champion from last year, and you're like, oh wow, they smacked us. So, it's a really good guide of where we're at. But for us, for me, I'm excited to see the players for a start. But for us, it's about making sure that we're trying to keep consistent throughout the match. And that's the message we're going to try and do all seasons, try to keep really a lot more consistent in our games.
So, yeah, I mean, as you mentioned, it was your first season last year, Rhino's first season, got into the top 4. So what will success look like for the club this year?
Well, I think success is about consistency. So you look at the top teams, you look at your Loughboroughs and your Thunders, you look at those and they've been successful for a long period of time. So there's that culture within that. And so that's what we're trying to build, is that culture of, yes, trying to achieve success, but the consistent success is the difference between teams and the top teams. So that's what we're trying to step up another level to.
And in terms of kind of staying at the club, are you, I'm not sure if it was included in announcements, like, are you signed for 1 season, longer? Do you see it as kind of a short-term plan, or?
Look, for me, I mean, the club wanted to sign me for 2 years straight up, and I just said, look, you know, the players might hate me, you might hate me, I might not be comfortable. I said, so I've signed for 1 season, and you know, the negotiations will happen, you know, towards the end of the season. But for me, it's about, you know, building on what they've already got, but also the club's such a fantastic club, like Leeds Rhinos and their foundation. They do enormous work in the community. And, you know, for netball to be able to link with that is just, you know, it's absolutely fantastic. They are really one of the best run clubs in the whole country. So, you know, for netballers to try and link in with that, I think it's, you know, really important for us to take that mantle on and you know, make Leeds Rhino a really noticeable organisation in the world of netball. So that's what we're trying to achieve. So, yeah, for me, it's about just taking 1 step at a time and seeing how it goes.
Okay, well, that's all I had. So thank you very much for your time.
No problems, Catherine.
Good luck for Sunday. I am actually a Leeds Rhino fan, so I will be cheering.
Oh, another one. Everyone's a closet Leeds Rhino fan. Honestly, I was talking to who was Andy Lamb. I was talking to Andy Lamb, yeah. And he was saying he's a closet. I'm like, why are you a closet? Just get out there and say you're going for Leeds Rhinos. No problem.
Yeah. Well, I went to uni in Leeds and I support the rugby team, so yeah.
Oh, good. Oh, well, you're going to have to support us. Will you be there on the weekend?
Maybe not this weekend. Yeah. I'm in Kent, so I'm not.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I'm hoping to go to the London Pulse Rhinos game.
Oh,
it's in London.
Oh, good. Oh, well, we'll for sure come and catch up and yell out, hey, knucklehead, and I'll just get over and I'll go, oh, Catherine, how you going? So, yeah, it's all good. I appreciate you supporting netball. It's really important.
Yeah, well, thank you very much again for your time. So
no problems. Thanks, and sorry about the stuff up.
It's okay. Thank you.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.